Good evening, guys. Ken at Tortoise Capital, nightly strategy podcast for November 2nd, 2022. Hat tip to the Tharp Institute for updating their process model for trading excellence with the transformational growth central drive shaft in this model, and then the gear teeth of peak performance mindset, that's psychology. Position sizing, that's math and discipline. Trading process architecture is a system of systems, an ecosystem of knowledge on how to align strategy, operations, and tactics. And then trading mastery is the execution part of plan, prepare, execute, and assess. So, hat tip to the fellas out in Cary and organizing their curriculum materials in that way. Sniper trade of the day. We got a couple. First is Brazil, 3-minute charts. The first move was a breakout above the 3-minute high. That was an immediate reversal and a 1 hour loss. It fell through the PSAR flip, so that's an instant short with a standard risk box. It moves in our favor right away. When the R10 did not even wiggle much and then continued, we were 2.5 hour in hand, so second position, third position, routine exit for 12 hour, SSC stop and reverse, supported spring crossing, standard exit for another one, so that's a 12 hour day in Brazil. That one remains in play. Mexico, standard frog champion, OR3 breakout, standard exit for one, PSAR flip re-entry, standard risk box. I was busy with Brazil, so we only got the one position on this one. That's 1, 2, 5. That's 6 hour in hand. SSC stop and reverse for 7 hour, so total 19 hour for the day. Sectors. Let's see what moved today on the day of the Fed. Well, come on, let's go. All right, so we have the S&P as our baseline here, down 2.5%. Diamonds were better, only off 1.5. Emerging markets minus 0.8, and treasuries were the best performing index at 0.43. And then depression set in, right? The Russell minus 3.3. Tech, our leaders, minus 3.4. So bad day at Flat Rock in response to the Fed. I mean, were people expecting them to say something other than what they've been promising? I don't know. So let's look at the underperformers. And there were many, mostly the individual companies. We'll see that the indexes basically did better. So we've got the S&P, again, our baseline minus 2.5. First cluster, materials, lumber, oil exploration, and real estate down to minus 2.68. Brazil, 3%. Uranium, 3.2. ARC Innovation, 3.4. S&P Tech, 3.5. The FANGs, 3.6. That is a massive vaporization of super large cap tech companies that got smashed. Consumer discretionary, 3.78. Marijuana, 4%. The cluster here of Ethereum, clean energy, ARC Innovation, wheat and precious metals between 4.6 and 5%. Tesla smashed for 5.64%. And now individual companies, which were the predominantly big losers today. First, we'll look at the metals. There's U.S. Steel, Alcoa, and Cliff. That's your metals. Big movers today. Big sell-off. Devon Energy, the big deal of the day, minus 12.7%. Rounding up with Squarespace, 7.4%. Rivian, 5.85%. PayPal, Robinhood, Coinbase, that's all your financial disruptors of the future. Think of the millions of young traders being lured to their death in those helpful free trading, no commission brokers. Apple and Microsoft are tech superstars, 3.5 and 3.7. And now the semiconductors, you got NVIDIA was slightly better than the market at 2.38, but then Texas Instruments 2.7, Intel 3.1. So really take your pick. Semiconductors or the metals group for tomorrow. To me, you look at the metals, and I would add energy. Devon Energy is going to be in play for sure. Lots to choose from tomorrow in this bear normal market. This is what bear normal looks like. We talked about that this week on what happens at the peak, those RLFF peaks where everything is feeling good. Go back and listen to that one again, and then just take a look at today. First cluster better than the S&P. We got the other lumber, biotech, Simon Property Group, commercial real estate, that is. Lithium, staples, and Mexico between 2.37 and 1.69%. You know, that's a good performance on a day when the market was like that, but that's what you got to look forward to. Next cluster, Bitcoin, finance, and the Aussie dollar, 1.27 to 1.42. Agriculture, down 0.5. Here's the cut line between gains and losses. You got blended commodities, 0.9, oil, 1.3, and VIX, 2.57. I would have thought there'd have been more portfolio insurance being bought with the VIX, but so that could be the argument. This is a one-day shock and awe, and that tomorrow's a buying opportunity. We're going to look and see that today's opening, followed by a horrific close right into the low of the day. That is such a painful loss that tomorrow it wouldn't be surprising to see a big gap down, rapid sell-off, and then a morning hook. So what we want to watch for is tomorrow's opening in the high of the day, and then if there's a sell-off and the recovery, we're going to look for the MMRBs somewhere in here on a morning hook, and then we're going to try to frame that trade with MMRBs back to the gap. So know what your MMRB is tomorrow, and then if the gap is 3 times an MMRB, you should be looking for that bottoming action. You should be looking for the RL10 crossing the baby dragon, get an MMRB off the bottom, and then look to exploit tactically. That's the least surprising scenario for tomorrow. Master that pattern. Here's the 30-minute view, and it's a tale of, two markets, essentially. This is today's price action. This was a sort of a gentle decline, and then all fed all the time and crashing to a new low that takes out the previous support, the previous R10 wiggle, and is now back within shooting distance of the next, what used to be resistance, might now be support around 370. But remember, that 10-day low around 365, if that breaks, look out below. Looks like almost like they had the electroshock paddles out. So all of that consolidation and then the tentative rise all got destroyed today in a great big sell-off that closed at the low of the day, broke all the way through the dragon, is within spitting distance of the PSAR. Remember that tomorrow the PSAR is going to draw right about there. So that puts this move in context down to 365 and the belly of the dragon and the belly of the RL10. All of those are in range tomorrow. If you get one more day like today, you could see that all happen in one day. And then all of this 10 days worth of hard work is right out the window. That's what a bear looks like. All right, let's take a look at the reports. Alrighty. Bear normal. The 2-day sell-off has made the 10-day start to fail. Yeah, we're in risk on, but it won't take much for that to drift, for that to roll over and back into volatility. It takes more than one day of selling to do that, but just remember that we're vulnerable. All of those red lights last week from channeling and overreaction that were warning about dead cat bounces in bear markets, let's remember those. Still, you got old reliables like Walmart, Merck, Goldman Sachs suffering the least, while Alcoa and the metals, Microsoft, Tesla, Disney, and Nike leading the way downward, maximum pain from their 10-day highs. Dow tactical summary, no swing patterns and only one breakout to the upside in Goldman. And it was actually up 0.35 today. Interesting anomaly. Oh, and I should also point out Microsoft at 2.1 on the auto framer. In the ETFs, some breakdowns here in the Qs. Now that's quite a sell-off given how strong the last 5 days in tech have been. For it to be able to fail that much and now make a new 10-day low is pretty impressive. And then based on the weakness in Tesla, you get consumer discretionary on the breakdown too. Auto framers, Cliff and Microsoft and U.S. Steel is pretty close. So that's a pretty good triumvirate, and especially if you add Brazil in there. That's a pretty good recommendations for focusing on tomorrow. Not surprising, no squeezes on a day like today with a large range. Into snipers, a resurgent number of Godzillas here in the S&P 500. Lots of double greens. Enraged Godzillas. Cliff, especially in the tactical symbol set. Look at the ratings on the weekly, daily, and tactical numbers. Massive. One-day movers. Look how many are strong. These are all greater than greater than 2 standard deviation. You got 3 of them better than 5 sigma. And there's Devon Energy. That's why that's on my radar for tomorrow. Today was a 4 3/4 sigma move in Devon Energy. That's just number 1 on my hit parade for tomorrow. Among the most volatiles, again, quite a few greater than 2 sigma and even 3 sigma on the 5-day moves. And then you add to that big follow through days on the 1-day. Those are all reasonable. Look at Amazon. If you were ever going to buy the market leader, it's as Godzilla as you could ask for. There's your auto framer from TC2000. That's what I use for my initial market assessment. That's a professional tool set, just ready for use. Tactical symbol set for the sniper stats. Again, right now I'm favoring those that are green and green on the short-term volatility. That's what gets my attention. And all these that were in the red on the 5-day, those are all extremely unvolatile for 5 days. But if you have red and green, that was extremely quiet on 5-day and an extremely large 1-day move. That's what shock and awe looks like. So you can see things like Alcoa, which has very quiet 5-day and a very large 1-day. Those are the things that I'm looking for. And Cliff, very large 5-day. Wasn't even an extraordinary move today, so there's more room in it. But Devon Energy, by contrast, extremely large volatility 5 days and massive 1-day. That's what I want. I want the volatility. Even Intel's pretty much like that in the double green. Plenty to choose from. The tail of the tape in the multi-time frame NDX, all that red, and only a couple exceptions. Boeing, Goldman Sachs. Scared money runs to the banks. Oil and Mexico. Those divergences on a bad day like today tell you something important about safe havens and opportunities for tomorrow. So we've had this, 2 days of harsh selling. The last time we saw that was here, and we got that. But then we saw that, and we got that. So what's it going to do? We don't exactly know, but we're pretty sure that if you put a tight control box around that and have no directional bias, you will be ready in bear normal for large moves in either direction. This is a compound critical state. Take advantage of it with trader quality. That's everything from the reports. All right, we got a couple days of coaching to catch up to, so strap in. Yeah, as my brother points out, those Godzilla trades don't terminate in 1 day. It's not surprising to see 2 to 3 days, 2 to 5 days of follow through. So once you get on them. All right, Luke in the 5-minute Aussie. I like the short. This is a good stop and reverse. I think we may have given back a little too much. We gave back more than half. A couple quick losses. Nice big massive one. I think we should be looking to get more. At least if you come across from this, we should somewhere around here be able to detect that we've left behind all of this chop, and that the beginning of the directional move is somewhere in here, not later than there, and still time here. But on one position, that's a pretty good exit. Less in the Kiwis, very carefully measured shots, and I'd like to see a re-entry here and an earlier entry here than here, because I think this nice long move to here, and it reversed almost immediately. I think you can get those two re-entries, but still we'll walk out of there with 1.5. That's nice. Agnieszka. Now this is on 5 minutes, and this is waiting too long. So this entry technically could have been here when the PSAR flips. This entry to the short side, I'm not offended by that. That's a good scratch. That's a good shot. I like that re-entry, but this one should be here, and then at best this is a scratch at best. So we should, I think we should be getting more out of this than -1, but still not bad. But the moves. Study the whole chart. Um, this is Agnieszka now again with gold dollar pair. Good entry, great exit. Now this entry here should be here at the PSAR flip, where the RL10 flips. The PSAR flip should be there, so that should be a scratch instead of -0.4. And then the reentry should be here, not here. And instead of -0.2, this could be a +0.2. So that's a difference of a 0.6. And then this reentry should be here. And then I think 1, 2, 3 exit is probably here. So we might have saved another 0.4. We might have made a difference of 1R just through micro timing improvements, which makes a difference on the day. So take a look, especially with 5-minute bars. You've got time to engineer those. Not sure whose this was. Let me see. I was going to say, that's pretty clean. It looks like my brother's. You can see a draftsman's mentality at work here. You get the RL10 coming out of the dragon. There's the PSAR flip. He waits for a full MMRB off the PSAR, so maybe a little late. I don't know. But there's his 2R battle. That's his 1R. No, that's his 2R battle drill. Second position, third position exit for 3.7. He notes that waiting for the full MMRB to enter is a good idea to make sure you get a good signal on a slow day. That was in Google on the 5-minute. He had about 10 people watching over his shoulder as he was trading this one live, so he's getting to experience what that kind of extra help feels like. Here's some more Amazon on the 5-minute. Quick loss, quick scratch, 2R battle drill and gets paid. Big time battle drill gets paid and gets paid 8.6 for the day. Under pressure on the clock. Well done. Woj in Devon. This is Monday's trade. Couple good scratches. Got paid a little bit, but gave back 80% of the gain. Got paid well and quick loss. So probably should have done a little better than a flat day on that one. Here's the OR3 quick reversal, and then lots of chop. It's unusual for Tesla to behave like that, so it's keep taking the shots. When it pays off large, like it did today. Solana continues to give him good performance. And XRP on the PSAR flip, we might have done something there, probably a span of control issue, but net positive for the day on his cryptos. Tim, back in the saddle. Just really glad to see that. Staying with it, taking the shot right at the PSAR or the VWAP flip, if you will. It's cleared all that resistance. This R10 wiggle is where now you've got almost 2R in hand, and the R10 wiggle and continuation. Somewhere in here should be a second entry. I like that. This is. I like waiting for the PSAR on that one. That's nice work. Constantine smashing the gold US dollar out of a sideways quiet channel. He buys it where he's supposed to, and it reminds him that 14R can happen. And then after that, he was looking at Friday's high was in here, and he shorts the collapse for 7.8. So that's 22 for the day. Day ain't over yet. And spend some time over in U.S., Japan for another 5. And that was opposite to the gold trade. So that's quite often a tandem inverse tandem trade. So what's that, 5? 27 for the day. Not a bad way to start working with your new prop traders. Well done. Nolan. PSAR flip, quick reversal. Now, after a 0.8 loss, and now you've got more than 1R in hand, you can't let that one scratch. And then we got to take this. I don't know what VWAP capping means, but that's the pattern. That's a kata 2 because you got lower highs and a PSAR flip smash. And then you could try that one long and probably scratch, and then you should be crushing this. Yeah. So that's probably 5R on the table. Less in the Kiwi. A couple quick scratches. Resets himself. Gets it paid back. Caught a 2 entry in here. Yeah. Trust the PSAR. You had the 1, 2, 3 sell-off where price violated the PSAR across the VWAP and then immediately reversed when it clears the dragon. Buy that one. There's your buy signal. 1, 2, 3, 4 has left the river. Stop risk here. Trust the PSAR, and you exit up here. And on that amount of risk, that's about 3R. I don't like the way that new monitor draws things for you. Heavy chop. Moving to no lose sooner. Yeah, sure, okay. After this After this breakout, after this, somewhere in here or in here for a second position, and then certainly if you have the two positions on, you'd have to take this. Um, I like that short. That's a good scratch. I like taking a break. If you're back in here, we could have been short here. That's a quick scratch. Stop and reverse is good. We gave back way too much here. There's your re-entry. So I think getting a little either gun shy or mentally tired right there. Shake it off. Today in Devon, my brother with 2.6 with standard work breaks out above the dragon, has the full MMRB off the low. Long, here's your 2R. There's his calculated 2R. So he adds a second position. Standard exit out, 2.6. This is in Cliff. The metals just crushed today, 1.2. This is a standard 2R battle drill second position. Let's see. So he was 13.6 on the big three. Alcoa did not reward, so minus 2.3 is 10. 10 for the day. Woj got a big bite of Devon. A little bit of grinding, but got the moves that mattered for 5. Tesla stopped just in time to miss that and to miss that. But we'll take 3 for the day. And in his concentrate, and the reason he wasn't on that other one in Tesla is because he's crushing Solana for 4, and was at 4.8 for the day. Then my brother was in doing some live trading and doing some live coaching, and so this is what bit him on Alcoa, and busy coaching and missed those moves. And that's the price you pay sometimes as teaching. Span of control, talking to others is a real thing. All right, that's everything for the day, guys. We'll get this published and posted. And I'm going to leave that room open for you, Dub, if anybody wants to talk to you for a little bit. But I got to get upstairs and see the doggy. She's got a bad tooth and an eye infection, so she's going in to get that pulled tomorrow.